to the second episode of Swenglish Aquatics. In this episode, you're going to see what I do with this lovely 50-litre shrimp tank. All the substrate, what we use for it, the rocks, the wood, also the plants that I'm going to put in it. And you'll see how we get on. So, start with, we've built the tank, we've tested it, holds water perfectly fine. We've got all of our stuff ready, so we're going to use this lovely stuff, the Akadama hard soil. This I bought online. It's really good soil. I've got it in my other 3 tanks. Doesn't really affect the pH levels, doesn't really affect anything in the tank. It's just really good for plant growth. Because it's going to be a shrimp tank, obviously we're going to need a lot of soil just to keep the tank balanced. They love to forage in it, they love the plants that grow in it. So yeah, here you can watch the little video of me getting the tank built. So in total, I'm going to be using around 6 kilos of this soil. Fill it up high at the back and then a bit shallower at the front. There's a little bit left over from my last bag that I can throw in there as well. Smooth it all out nice, ready. Okay, so with this tank I'm going to have a nice little sand bed basically. So I've got black shrimp sand. It's all already pre-washed, and it's been left and it's dried out because it's been about a week since I washed it. Just been a bit lazy getting this video together. So, start at the front and work my way backwards. Okay, so see how far this lot goes. It's going to be obviously hard to keep a divide between the soil and the sand. It doesn't really bother me too much that it's going to mix, but in an ideal world it would be lovely to have them both separate. But it's not going to work, unfortunately. So for now, this will do. So a bit more. So, like I said in the other video, this is going to be my new big shrimp tank. I had a bit of an issues with the smaller tank. For some reason, the nitrate levels just spiked really badly overnight and killed off most of my crystal red shrimp, which was devastating, really. I'd had them about a month and they were doing great, and then woke up in the morning and about 15 of them were all dead. So tested for nitrates, and sure enough, straight away the levels were way past where they should be, and unfortunately killed off nearly all of my crystal red shrimp. So this tank is going to be crystal reds, cherry shrimp, and we're going to have some blue bolts as well. So there's a guy in the south of Sweden who breeds shrimp, and this is where I bought my first lot from. They're all very well looked after. He looks after all of his shrimp just as equally, and he's got me a lovely batch of crystal reds and also a lovely batch of blue bolts. So he's been growing them for around a month now, so I've got, in another month's time, when this tank's all been cycled, they're ready to go in. So moving on, I've got a little bit of hardwood here, which I've always wanted a nice little bit of hardwood. I put one in my other tank, but it was just a little bit too big for where it was meant to be. So bought a new piece for here. Dragonstone as well, so the shrimp love the dragonstone. There's loads of little holes they can hide in. There's loads of little places they can go and they love it. So I got another couple of pieces of these that are going to go in. Probably going to break them up first and then move on to putting some plants in and some water. Unfortunately, I forgot to press the record button on the last process. As you can see, I finished off adding the slates, the extra dragonstone, the big piece I put in the middle, smashed up the smaller pieces for the sides, and obviously added the plants as well. There's some fast growing plants in here to help with the nitrates, so when any nitrates get high, they absorb in the plants a lot faster, and obviously some creeping moss around the bottom that the shrimp would like to go on. It's been around 6 hours since I filled it up. Temporarily put a tiny little pump on with like floss fibre, so it'll take out all the dirt, all the crap, all the rubbish, and hopefully get the tank looking nice and clear. So 6 hours in, it's really quite clear. Still a lot of air bubbles that need to come out. But other than that, it's looking really good. Hopefully next week I'll get the proper pump and filter for it, get that in, and obviously reduce the water down to a 50% and re-top it up. I'm quite lucky here, we've got really, really good water. It comes straight out of the Swedish lakes and rivers. So the pH is around 6.5, and all the rest of the levels are perfectly clear. So for us, water changes are really simple. Just take the water straight out of the tap, straight into the tanks. Really simple, really easy, no problems. So I'll leave this video now so you can see a little bit of the tank and what it looks like. Upon a closer view, you can see a little bit better on how the tank looks. Obviously, after filling up with water, a lot of the dirt moved over, covered over the slate. You can see along the front here where I've cleaned the glass, moved some of the sand over. You can see the colour difference. Obviously, there's still lots of air trapped in the sand from when I put it in dry instead of wet. But other than that, it's looking quite clear. Above, you can see on the top a film. This is just dirt film. I'll soak it up slowly, get a fine net in there, and obviously there's a little bits of sand with trapped air floating around still as well. So that'll all get cleared up and it will be nice and clear water. I just temporarily got 3 lights in above just to get so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to order a new strip light to go along the top, and obviously the temporary pump works really well, but for this size tank it's really small. And obviously there's a little feeding dish as well for when I come to feed the shrimp. I'll take it out, fill it with food, put it back in, and it'll just move around, so it doesn't stay in one place. Mineral stones in there already for the shrimp, get the water levels nice and great.